I'm going to ask what I suspect should be a rhetorical question. But if you answer it very differently than I'm anticipating, well, the homily's going to go in a very surprised direction. By a show of hands, who here, when you pray, you want God to hear your prayers favorably? Okay, near 100%. That's what I expected. Now, we've just heard in the scriptures, God hears the cries of the oppressed. Also, by a show of hands, who has ever prayed to be oppressed? That's what I thought. Near 0%. God hears the wails of orphans. You probably haven't prayed to be an orphan. God hears when widows pour out their complaints. I won't ask for a show of hands if you've ever prayed to be a widow. You see, we tend to overlook the fact that it is precisely in these kinds of situations where we are in the depths of human suffering, situations when we are at our most vulnerable, that we are in fact closest to God. It is in those times, in those circumstances, that we really have God's ear. And yet, especially in our time and culture, we fear these things. We, in fact, tend to put time and energy in our prayer into asking God to help us avoid them, don't we? God, restore my health. God, save my spouse. Lord, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go, but, lead me and make sure everything works out for me. Rescue me from injustice. And as understandable as those prayers are, we do need to take a moment and take a step back and ask what the real motivation is for us. What ultimately is motivating us? Is it that we really, truly wish to be close to God? Do we really want to have God's ear? Not for the sake of having him do our whims, but so that we can share ourselves with him? Or do we just want God to be at our beck and call and to keep us comfortable? We hear Jesus describe two different common ways that people approach God. One is from a place of, he calls it self-righteousness. It's the kind that comes with the attitude of, I have been so good. I've made so many sacrifices. I've followed all of the rules. I deserve that God should listen to what I have to say. I deserve that God should do for me what I want God to do for me. The other way is to approach God by saying, God, I know I deserve nothing from you, but I'm grateful for what you give, and I need you. And the irony is that it is often when we are in places where we are most acutely aware of our own sinfulness, our own lack of virtue, our own weakness, our spiritual vulnerability, it is often then when we are in those places that is how we are able to approach God. And so we who are here today in church, we need to be careful. We need to be careful about why we're here and how we think about all of this that we're doing. I encounter people sometimes, and I swear, they speak about coming to Mass as though they were doing God some kind of a favor. And some people do fall into thinking like that. Oh, hey, it's such a beautiful sunny day outside, but all right, I'm doing my duty. I'm here in church for an hour, give or take, depending who's preaching. Or, I just want to stay in bed for a little while longer, but no, I'm going to muster that energy, and I'm going to go and be at Mass because I'm a good Catholic. And we have to be careful with that because it is not very far in our minds from that attitude, that way of looking at things, to really feeling once we're here, boy, God, aren't you glad I showed up today? Or really even, it's such a privilege for God to have me here. Now, I hear the chuckles. We all recognize when we actually say it out loud, we recognize the absurdity of looking at it that way. But so much of that very attitude, those very perspectives, just hovers there, just beneath the surface, under a veneer of what we like to call piety, or religiosity, or spirituality. But in the end, it's not really about how virtuous we become, how many sacrifices we make, how many prayers we say, or really what we do, so much as it's about what we allow God to do for us, within our hearts and minds, within our character, within our relationships, within our work, within our priorities and our lives in general. And we need to also be honest about the witness that the rest of the world, looking at us from the outside, can see. If we preach about a God, and our scriptures do, it's on page after page of the Bible, if we talk to the world about a God who is merciful to the poor, who is close to those who are oppressed, who offers justice to those who are denied it by the world, and so on, but we ourselves don't draw close to such people, if we fear being ourselves in such circumstances, if we spend our time and our energy asking God to keep us from it, or telling ourselves, well, if I do everything God wants me to do, then I should be able to avoid those things. I'll deserve to avoid those things. Then the rest of the world rightfully could criticize us and say, it sure doesn't look like you want to be close to God so much as you want to be comfortable. And most especially, every time we do gather for the Eucharist, and we are here, there is truly only one proper motivation for being here. And it cannot be that we think we've put in the work in our prayer, or we've followed all of the rules, or we've done everything right, and so therefore we deserve to somehow receive God or enter into the Eucharist. No. It needs to be in a cold, hard, sober understanding that we don't deserve anything from God. Whatever we have, it is by His gift, given to us out of His love alone. And we depend on it. We should come aware that we have no life except for the life that He infuses into us. We have no goodness within us except what goodness of Himself He shares with us. We have no virtue, no morality, except what He helps us work out day in, day out. And therefore, we are here, coming from a place of utter need, hopefully with an attitude of deep, deep gratitude and an openness to receive whatever it is God knows is best for us. Peace be with all of you this day, and with all who love the Lord in simplicity of heart.